I'm here with Isaac Florentine for my money, one of the best action directors on the planet. Complete honor having you here. Really loved Hounds of War. I guess I'll start with this, and I don't even know if you can answer it, but what sets you apart from other action directors? Because when I discovered you, it was the Undisputed movies, and you came up at a time when there's like a bunch of shaky cams, but your action is always very clear and very like you can see what's going on. What's kind of your process and your approach to directing action?
I think you said it by yourself. So here's the thing. There are two things now that I think about it. First, I'm coming from karate background. I mean, I've been training for the last 53 years. I love it. The beauty of karate, it's clean, it's sharp, it's clean to watch it. It's not sloppy, should not be sloppy. And when you move, it's very sharp. Basically, when you do a cut, when you do a scene, it's very accurate. That's one thing. Now, technically, when I shoot, I don't like to go with tele lenses or shaky camera. I want to see clarity. And it doesn't matter if it's a dramatic scene or an action scene. If it's an action scene, I want to see the technique. Like when you see a movie with Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire dancing, do you see them top to bottom? So you see the dancing, right? Uh, and also, you want to see the geography because once you start to do shaky camera or you go with tele lenses, you don't know where you are. You don't know who's in the left side. You don't know who's the right side. You don't understand what you're doing. What you end up is with quick cuts. You don't see the techniques. You hear sound effects, but you didn't see really the fight. You heard the fight. It gave you a feeling of a fight. I go the opposite way. I want clarity. I want people to see the techniques. I want people to see the geography. I don't want people to feel that they were cheated. And I think people appreciate this and they tend to respond to it, especially if you're lucky to work with actors that can move. And then you say, wait a minute, now I can do a big sequence with no cuts. And maybe the average audience doesn't know what's a cut or not. Yes, cut, no cut, he doesn't know. But he feels when there is a continuous motion, he feels it, you know? So that's basically it, you know? That's in a nutshell, you know?
Yeah, and then you said working with actors that can kind of hold their own. Of course, I discovered Scott Atkins through you. What was that relationship like? Because you guys worked together brilliantly uh, for a while.
In 2002, somebody sent me, my good friend Don Warner, so got a VHS from Scott. He was then totally unknown. And he told me, Isaac, you should see that VHS. And I looked at it. There was like some body shots of him, some face shots. And I said, okay, looks charismatic. Can he move? And then he was doing some martial arts technique. I said, wow, this guy can move. Now, can he does theatrical martial arts, which is acrobatics and stunts? Then there were stunts and it was right there. And I said, oh, wow, can he play? Can he act? Then came some BBC drama. And I said to myself, wow, you cannot be more dramatic than BBC drama. Then I called him. And at that time, I was doing special forces. I went to my producer, Boss Davidson. I showed it to him, and we tailored a role for him in that movie just to test him. After I finished this movie, I was supposed to do Undisputed 2. And nobody thought that Scott can play Boyka. And Scott told me, Isaac, if I'll get the role of Boyka, I will work day and night to become the character. And I said, okay, I believe in you. Besides, again, my producer, Boaz Davidson, everybody thought that I'm doing a big mistake. I totally believe in Scott. And nobody believed that a handsome English gentleman can look like a big Russian menacing thug. But he did it, you know? So, and I guess the rest is history because in Undisputed 2, I decided that I'm not doing an action movie, I'm doing a sport movie. And the character will be, both characters will be rounded characters. They will have layers. And people like that character. that he had his own sense of justice, and he was had religious conviction, and the audience went with it so much. So we did with him Undisputed 3 and Undisputed 4, and we started to work together. So
And
this is how it happened.
so Hounds of War is very different action
Totally.
movie than Undisputed. What was your approach to doing Hounds of War?
It's more of a mainstream movie if you look at it. And the first part is more of a military movie. The second part is a revenge movie. It's more of a mainstream movie if you look at it. And I think also the action is more mainstreamish. There is fights, but there's also a chase, there's also shooting, there's also a story. Uh, uh, it's kind of multi-layer, it's a fun entertainment for everybody. The martial arts movies that I do are maybe not for everybody. And this is a movie that everybody can enjoy. Uh, Kids, adults, male, female. It's a typical popcorn movie.
Yeah. And what goes like when you get a script, what goes through your head as far as yes, I want to do this, or this one's not for me, I'm gonna pass on this one.
Story and character.
Yeah.
Story, character. It's like if the story works and the characters, I say, okay, it really works for me. I would like to do it. If I don't like it or it's not for me, the genre, I say, I mean, and it happened to me that sometimes I got scripts that they were good scripts, but they were not for me. I got a script that was a good script that was all about car chases, and I'm not the right person to do it. I'll get bored.
Yeah. What's what is it about car chases that don't turn you on the way like fighting scenes do?
Look, in a car chase, in a way, you're a bit limited because, okay, there is the car chase, then you shoot a lot of green screens of people driving inside, usually. And I don't know, you feel remote for the action. When there is a gunfight or martial arts, I'm totally engaged because I came from that background of martial arts. I love it. It's kind of the reason why I wanted to become a director was because I wanted to do those action movies. Some people wanted to do artsy movies, and if they have to do action movies, they suffer. With me, it's exactly the opposite.
Is there any genres of movies that you haven't tackled yet that like secretly like for instance, is there Isaac Florentine rom-com in the future where it's like, oh, I could really crush a romantic comedy or something like that?
No, but I'd like to do more historical movies and like period pieces. And I did a Western 30 years ago. I'd like to do another one. I love that genre. The reason why I became a filmmaker is because my love to Westerns and the Italian Westerns. So I would love to do another Western and to do it as authentic as possible because I'm really a history buff. I really, really, really love history, and therefore, if it will be an historical movie or a Western or any historical movie, I'm totally, I would very much would love to do it.
I very much love to see that. But I guess we'll end on this. What's a movie that you could recommend to our audience that's maybe people haven't seen enough? It's like, people talk about like the big hitters like The Godfather and Citizen Kane's and whatnot, but like what's a movie that's like this one's really good and no one talks about it?
I think it's a movie everybody talks about it, but I'm not sure if the young audience uh, are aware of this movie. For me, it's the Bible, kind of, not the real Bible, but movie making. And it's Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone. Of course, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is lighter, same director. These two movies, but especially Once Upon a Time in the West, I love that movie. It's like watching an opera. It's got layers. I just enjoy watching this movie. And I think it's an important movie to watch. It's slow pace, but I think it has the best movie opening that I ever seen in my life. And it's also a revenge story, if you think about it. And it's just a beautiful movie. And the hero is really a woman. I mean, you have Charles Bronson there and Jason Roberts, but you have and Henry Fonda, but you have Claudia Cardinelli, and she's amazing, you know, and it's a great movie.
Oh, it's a great choice. Hounds of War will be available on digital September 20th. Isaac, it's been an absolute pleasure and absolute honor. Love your movies, love your directing style, love everything. And I want to see that I want to see that Western you have cooking in your head.
Thank you. Me too.
Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.